That was a perfect timing there. We are live, episode 113 of the Shooter's Mindset, guys. Thanks for joining us here. Guest of the show, guest of the hour, young gun here. I call him. He's getting a little older, but he still looks very young. Mason Lane's in the house. What's going on, Mason?
How's it going, you guys? Glad to be here.
Going pretty good, pretty good. We had a good pre-show chat with you already. Co-host today, Dustin's doing a little holiday Santa Claus shopping, and I don't think he's going to make it today, but Jennifer Seymour's in the house.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, so kind of a real busy time of the year. Obviously, I think I didn't want to stack too many shows in this month, but anytime I try not to, I always get like people wanting to come on, or I ask somebody, and I don't know. I just end up always filling up the month somehow. So yeah, every Wednesday of December there's a show of the Shooter's Mindset, even like the day before Christmas Eve. So there you go. All right, hardcore stuff. All right.
He's working us to death.
Yeah. Not on complete purpose, because I could enjoy the day off to all right, so let's get this out the way real quick. Giveaway winners from episode 112. That was featuring Chris, Mike, and Mike of Agency Arms. So they were doing a Agency Arms Magwell, an Agency Arms, a drop-in trigger, S3F Solutions Glock barrel, and Tactical Life was throwing in like a T-shirt or some Sure Grips. I need to go back on my notes and check out what they were going to throw in. But winners are Paulie Hall is the first name I pulled. So if you're watching Paulie or you're watching the show, you're the winner. Congratulations! You get some. You get the prize. We'll figure out how to split them all up. And then Ryan Braden is also the second name we pulled. So I'll announce these on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page if you guys aren't watching the show today or whatever, and we'll figure out how to split up those prizes, all right? Show sponsors, because I wanted to just get the giveaways winner out there because I tend to forget, and it'll be all the way towards the end of the show when I say it, and then people don't watch that long, I think. Where are we at? Show sponsors. As always, we got Tactical Shit at shop.tacticalshit.com. They got all the gun loving needs, man. And they got some great apparel and some great accessories, belt-fed 9mm, as we bring up like on every show so far. Uppers, rifle accessories, the whole deal. Shop.tacticalshit.com is the website, all right? Very catchy, isn't it? Never forget that website. Techwear USA, techwearusa.com for your jersey needs, apparel needs. Jennifer just got the new arm gaiters, is what they're calling them, right there. So I know I've been seen wearing full-blown Under Armours underneath my jersey, and now you can just get the Techwear Gators. You don't have to go through $50 for an Under Armour per Under Armour shirt, I think it is, around there. I mean, them boys are making money over there at Under Armour.
Mm-hmm.
And BladeTech.com. So for your holster needs, AR accessory needs, knife needs, they got everything. Mag pouches, competition 3-gun belts. BladeTech.com for all your holster needs. Check them out. You definitely gonna, if you're rocking a new gun for the 2016 shooting season, which is fast approaching, you definitely need to get a brand new BladeTech holster. I recommend the classic outside the waistband. All right, there you go on that one. Q&A section, bottom left-hand corner of the show. For those who are new to the show, you'll see a little Q&A section in the bottom left-hand corner. Click that. It'll open up a screen, and you can ask your questions to any of us here throughout the show live. We'll be sure to get anything that you want to ask Mason throughout the show also. That's the most important part. Just ask Mason all the questions that he doesn't have an answer to. That's really important today. All right. Shooter's Mindset app on iTunes and Google Play Store, whatever they call the Google thing. I'm not an Android user, but iPhone, Android, if you have it, you can download in the App Store the Shooter's Mindset app. Mason's face would be boom right there on the latest app upload as soon as this one goes live. As soon as we terminate the live broadcast here. And for an update for those who pre-ordered TSM T-shirts, I'm picking them up like tomorrow, so they should be out beginning of next week and end of this week possibly. So there you go on that. Mason, let's kick this one off. For those who are unfamiliar with you, tell us a little bit more about yourself, when you started shooting, and that whole deal.
What's going on, you guys? Mason. 18, started shooting about 3.5 years ago. This will be my fourth season. So I was introduced to shooting when I was done with scouting. So I got my Eagle project done, got that all buttoned up. So my Scoutmaster started like a shooting crew dedicated just to shooting. So we started shooting Steel Challenge and a little bit of IDPA. We went down to the Army Marksmanship Unit Clinic just for juniors, and I got introduced to USPSA there. That was my first exposure to it, and I mean I thought it was awesome. And pretty much from there, that's when I went back and joined IDPA, joined USPSA, started traveling around, went to a bunch of matches. On my parents' dime, got really good, cost them a whole bunch of money, made them all good and resentful, and so I mean I was lucky enough to be noticed by the SIG Academy in Epping, New Hampshire, and they picked me up, and it's the rest is kind of history. I've been to matches as far west as Vegas and as far south as Florida. Haven't left the country yet. I will eventually. I made a couple friends up in Canada from down at Area 4 this year, so I'm hoping to make it up next year.
Right on. So you did a lot of your early training from the SIG Academy. That's where your money spent? Your parents spent a lot of money getting you to training there?
I did a little bit of classes there, yeah. I took a couple there because I had a mentor, Jerry Tetro, sort of took me under his wing, and he was an instructor there. So he's pretty much, puked all his information all over me, downloaded everything he knew into my head, taught me how to make myself better, and he really presented me to the academy and let them know that he thought I had potential, and sort of got that whole thing going for me.
Right on. So there you go. So I've always heard, I didn't know they do too many competitive base. They probably do. They do a lot of stuff over at the SIG Academy. Myself, haven't heard too many competition-based focused classes, but it doesn't really necessarily need to be a competition training class for you to be a better shooter overall, So definitely check them out. It's the place to be up in Mason's area.
Yep, Area 7.
So, Area 7 is the place to be. The SIG Academy, all right. Kyle Lamb does a lot of classes up there at SIG. I forgot to announce this earlier, but you can also ask your questions on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. There's a post going up live there, and you can always use the Q&A app. Hopefully it's working. I think it is. I'll open it up here in a second. Yeah, it seems to be working, yeah. Joshua Dawes is in there. Good evening, TSM. Good evening, Joshua. Dang, you joined the best. Okay, so dang, you joined the best scout troop. That is awesome.
I did. Yep.
So, some Boy Scout fans. I always wanted to do that when I was younger, and my parents, I guess, never said. I guess they couldn't afford it or something. I don't know. That was one of those things. I saw the flyer, and I was like, man, that looks pretty cool as a young kid. And then we tend to talk about Girl Scout cookies a lot on this show, by the way, Misa. Yeah. So I think you already opened up that jar.
Thin Mints. Thin Mints.
All right.
They're the best.
All right. Let's see. Let's move on here. Joshua, I see your question. We'll get to it here in a second. So at the young age of 18, obviously, you've only been shooting for 3.5 years. This is going on your fourth season. You're representing already a major firearms manufacturer, okay? Do you feel any pressure to perform having this huge name, Sig Sauer, on your jersey, also followed by a lot of other sponsors on the jersey?
On some level, yeah. Especially when I first started out, it was really overwhelming. I didn't really know how to take it, but more than anything, I mean, it's an honor to represent them. But I mean, I'm honored by it when I go to practice. I'm fortunate for all the resources they can provide me. But more than anything, when I go to a match, I'm there to win, and I pretty much forget about everything else. So I mean, in the beginning, yeah, it was definitely distracting. I sort of had some peripheral goals that I wanted to fulfill before I really got into that.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Shooting. I mean, some shooters, even some very high-level shooters, man, it's a hard deal to get a whole major firearms manufacturer to back you. You know what I mean? It's not an easy deal. So
yeah, when I first got picked up by him, I kept on thinking like it was sort of like a little kid on Christmas. Like you look at all the stuff you just got and you kind of can't believe it. And I did that a lot of times. Like I sort of did a double take when I was out there practicing, like by myself at the academy. Like holy crap, I can't even believe like how lucky I am. And I still do occasionally. I'm pretty much welcome there now. They're pretty much over the fact that I'm out there.
Yeah. They're over it. Yeah, I can see that definitely becoming I mean, I had sponsors very early when I was a marksman in IDP. A lot of local guys never had Sig Sauer or anything like that, but I still felt the pressure of, these guys are, I'm representing a company here. You know what I mean? If I stink up the joint, who wants to shoot a Sig if you stink up the joint? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was a little bit of that, and then, but then eventually I just, it just doesn't even cross my mind anymore. I'm sure it
No.
really doesn't really
Mhm.
doesn't cross your mind anymore at that. Jennifer, did you get any of that going into it?
It was weird. My first sponsor was just the local shooting range. It wasn't any big national, but it's a shooting range that's very well known here for everybody that shoots. Everybody knows shooters, and so, at first I kind of felt like there were people that were like, well, I'm better than she is. Why is she sponsored? And I got over it too. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm a good representation. Um, you know, I represent well, and I'm very loyal to all of my sponsors. So yeah, I'm over it.
There, yeah, you're just over it, right? There you go.
I
mean,
got over it. I am what I am, and I'm never gonna be, some big, huge Lena Michlik, Jana Reeves. I'm never gonna be at that level probably because, I have a life and kids and all that. I don't have the time. And
so you're saying Jana doesn't have a life?
no, she does, but she doesn't have 3 children. She has to stop and go do things with either.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
it, makes a
Just a
difference.
dog with like no
Well,
legs.
Jana was ridiculously good anyway. She came out and a year later was like killing it. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
unheard of how well, her rise was pretty impressive.
yeah, very impressive.
Not the average Joe.
Yeah, we had her on the show twice. If you guys just type in her name, Jana Reeves, you guys get some Shooter's Mindset episodes if you're curious to know more about her. But yeah, her rise was very quick, but she had an intensive shooting background, and she kind of just fell into with the right people, and boom, she exploded. All right, but enough of that. We had a couple of live ones come in. Let me know if you have any, Jen, over here. But Joshua Dawes here. What are your future plans? Competition, focus, military, college? Where you see yourself going? What road down?
So, I mean, it's an interesting question that I still don't have a good answer to. I was planning on going to gunsmithing school to go down that whole road, but I figured out I was advised by multiple gunsmiths that there's no money in it at all. You'll live a pauper life, and you'll die unhappy. So I mean that between that and a lack of availability, I sort of moved away from that. Moved more towards a criminal justice path. So I'm currently enrolled in criminal justice program, and that's going okay. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Sort of a
that's a good
local
path.
tech school.
That's a good path to follow.
Yeah, military maybe. Still really want to get into the Army Marksmanship Unit, but not huge not on the front burner, if you will. Still considering it.
Right on. That's good stuff. Criminal justice is especially if you're going to follow, firearms line of competition, that kind of syncs up in a way, small way, but it syncs up. Right. There you go. Thanks for the questions there, Joshua Dawson. I know you got a couple. We're going to hit those. All right, so here's where we're going to get into, I think a lot of people have had a lot of questions regarding this pistol earlier because it's a fairly new model from SIG. Out of all the SIG pistols, SIG's manufacturers, you choose a P320. Do you feel this model gives you a better advantage over the other models SIG currently offers?
Yeah, I do. To start with, preface that, yeah, I do definitely. I think it's an incredibly good gun. They really knocked it out of the park when they released all those batch of guns, the MPX, MCX, 320. That whole line was just incredible. I started with another plastic frame gun in the industry when I was not shooting for SIG, and they actually kept me on under the academy for a little while just to kind of let people know that they still teach people at the academy who aren't shooting SIGs, so they wanted me to let people know that. And from there, they told me they had a project coming out with a gun that was going to be similar to what I was using currently, and they moved me into it. And I've loved it. I shot it bone stock except for sights for a full year, and I did pretty good. I mean, I don't think it hurt me at all, certainly. And ever since then, I've gotten onto the team, their new Team SIG, which is just under a couple dozen members. and I've gotten hooked up with Bruce Gray, and he's done a lot of custom work on it, and I really think it's affirmatively the most competitive production pistol there is available.
Right on. Well said. You froze up on me again. We've been having this issue in the pre-chat, so if you can back out and just come back in for me.
Sure, I will.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a slight connection issue, but if it'll be fixed shortly here. All right. Anything on the Q&A? Anything on the Facebook? It's kind of a slow day, like I said.
I have a good many on here. Let's see. I hate for him to... Oh, he's back. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, let me tell you some things that are on here now, Mason.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. Connie Leathers says, "Go Mason Lane." Jamie Blow says, "Way to go, buddy." Yeah. John Tata?
Oh, yeah, old John Tata.
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 Totally just
I'm usually the one to screw up the names like that.
I'm very sorry.
Tata.
He says Mason Lane is one of the finest young men you will meet and an outstanding ambassador for our shooting sports, which I think is a huge compliment. So that's really sweet that he said that. That's neat.
Really sweet of you, John. Anything else?
And Connie Leathers says she agrees. But then for question, Justin Winstead says, "What are your goals for the 2016 season?"
So tell Justin I'm going to beat him in every match I shoot against him in. No, not really. I like Justin. He's a good kid. This next year, I have a couple area matches lined up, a couple 3-gun matches. So I still haven't. I've been lazy in goal setting, so I haven't really gotten any affirmative goals yet. Dabbling in a little bit of 3-gun next season. So
you can't dabble in 3-gun. It's like all in or nothing.
That's what I've been told. I'm gonna just dabble. I'm gonna try to just dabble in it, but I think it's like heroin.
People dabble in meth too, and then they're addicted, and that's what happens with 3-gun. You're just gonna shoot one just because there's not a USPSA match, and then you shoot it, and you're addicted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then USPSA becomes pistol practice.
I actually hope not, because I really like USPSA. I like the technicality of it. But as far as goals, I want to do better at this year's Area 7 than I did this previous year. That's the first one. And, I want to do well at all the area matches. Especially at Nationals, I'd like to make top 16 this next year, which I think I could do. I was 23rd at this year's production Nationals only. So I think that's a doable goal, and I want to do it. I also still want to make Grandmaster. I'm, half a hair away from Grandmaster, have been for a while. So that's an easy goal that I should do, hopefully before the spring.
Right. So you're what are you shooting? What are you coming out like 92 or?
Yeah, I was up to 94.88, and then I screwed that up. So I think I'm down to 92, almost 93.
Yeah. So you're right there. Yeah. You just have to have an all-out showing, and you'll be there.
Yep.
Right on. Joshua Doss here is kind of throwing in some. Well, that's not really. We used to put this in the lightning round, but deuces or quads? I think this is kind of like an old school question. Everybody's doing quads now.
I have really big hands, so I do quads in the limited amount that I've done.
Right. So yeah, deuces is a dying loading method. It seems.
Be careful! Don't hurt your thumb.
Yeah. Jen's been down for the count on her thumb. Let me see. Thin Mints for the win. For the win, obviously. More Thin Mint fans.
Of course, Thin Mints for the win.
Right.
The smart people are coming out tonight and commenting.
Right. Let's see. During the off season, the smart people are coming out. During the off season, obviously you said you were in the pre-chat. You said you were about a month into the off season already. Really don't have much going on. Do you use this time to relax or really pick up the training?
I still don't really have a good answer for that question. This will be, my third, well, I guess I don't know the math, but anyway, it'll also be less than a half dozen off seasons. But I started my first season, I took a full month off, didn't do anything. Then that didn't work, so the season after that I did 2 weeks. And now I haven't really taken any time off at all. It's just been dry pretty much the same amount as usual, basically every day, just less. And when I get frustrated with it, just stopping. But yeah, I do try to relax more. I do take an off season. I don't just ramp it up because even as much as I love it, you can still get burnt out, or so it's been explained to me.
Yeah, I do get a little burnt out on it. That's why I tend to shoot a lot of my matches beginning of the season, mid-season, and then I kind of start getting burnt out, or the money kind of burns me out because it's hard to travel every weekend. I wish I can afford to do it, but I can see those people getting burned out a lot faster than I would. But yeah, definitely on that tip, Jen. Anything? You're done. You're done for the season, right? Or you got some stuff?
No, I'm pretty much done right now, and with my pistol is with Taryn. He has it right now, so I've kind of been taking a break anyway with that. And then I've hurt my thumb, so I haven't been doing anything. But now I'm good to go, and I'm about to start back. The shotgun is going to get a little attention every day.
Okay.
Got to get those quads back up.
Right on, and her pistol's she's getting some high fly custom work onto the G17L.
It's gonna be so sweet.
The combat John Wick line.
Something. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, Taryn's like, dude, you don't have another Glock laying around, right? We're doing these John Wick Glocks now, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. I've seen them. I've shared tons of pictures of them, and I want one. Whatever. So there could be a little John Wick action. By the way, John Wick 2 is coming out. They announced that. It's kind of old news, but I was a big fan of the first movie, and it's coming out with part 2. Hopefully, it can live up to part 1 because it's hard to. Usually, the sequels don't live up too well. But they killed a man's dog, and he just goes apeshit and kills everybody. Pretty good stuff. All right. I'm going way off topic. The importance of dry fire and physical fitness to improve your shooting ability. So you said you do a lot of dry fire almost every day.
Yep.
Where is your take on the importance of dry fire to keep your game up and maybe some physical fitness?
Like I said, I dry fire basically every day. I maybe sometimes will take a day off during the week, usually Mondays, but I typically not. It was explained to me when I inquired about how important dry fire was down at the Army Marksmanship Unit Clinic. Daniel Horner said, I dry fire, this is a guy who still shoots full time. He shoots, a couple thousand rounds a day sometimes, like 8 months out of the year. And he says he still dry fires on days that he live fires. I was like, Jesus. If he's doing it that much, then I got to step my game up. So ever since then, that was last year. So, I've been doing a lot more dry fire, only taking maybe, I probably average, I don't do it every day, but, when I do it like a couple hours. So I probably average like 45 minutes a day. And physical fitness, I can honestly say I don't do as much as I should. I watch everything I eat, especially before a match. Make sure I stay hydrated. Make sure I'm not eating crap. I've had a couple times that I've gotten to the line and had to run for the head. So
yeah.
Eat good the couple days before.
No one likes to run to the head during a match, man. I'll tell you what, too much gear. And it's just a lot harder for the women, obviously.
I was about to say, I don't want to hear any complaints from y'all. We have to take all of our stuff off. Look, at the War Sport, I had to go so bad, and oh man, there was a porta potty. I could see it, but it was like a ways down this hill. And so I finally ran down there. Of course, I had to go take my gun off, take my belt off, then run down there. I get down there, and there's a daggum frog sitting on the toilet. I'm looking at it. So I sat on the very front edge and watched that thing the whole time to make sure it didn't jump on my bare butt. It was really kind of funny. But that was the only one.
You sharing the details on.
Well, then I came back and some of the other ladies were like, "Did you see the frog in there?" Like everybody had seen the frog in that porta potty. It was funny.
It was the talk of the match. Should have been there.
Yeah.
It was a silver frog. It was really kind of pretty. It was weird, but I did not want it to jump on me.
Yeah, that would have been a sight where you busted out of the door there. I don't know how that reaction would have been.
I'm not real sure what I would have done if it had actually jumped. Like on my arm, that'd be one thing, but on my bare butt, that would be different.
All right, Joshua Doss, switching topics here. We went into a little bit deep into detail here. That's what happens sometimes here. Joshua Doss, would you mind showing off some shooting gear and guns? I don't know if any of you guys have any gear close by. Yeah.
Not on hand, Joshua. My sincerest apologies. If you want to take a break, then I can do that for you.
Jen has. Do you have anything? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I always have the same stuff kind of close by, unless I crack open the safe or something like that.
I
But
actually don't. My guns are locked up in the safe right now, so
yeah. Sorry, buddy.
I know we're terrible.
Or it
Closing
just.
up again.
I don't think anybody wants to see any. I got some. I don't know. I got some toys, but I don't know. We're gonna have to. I would need an intermission to get those out. So there you go. What do we talk? We talked about yeah, we talked the off season. All right. Any live on the media? Any social media
That's
live?
what
You guys
I
got
was just looking, and yes, let's see. Joshua Dosh said, John Wick 2, awesome. I bet he loves Thin Mints. This makes perfect sense since he is such a badass.
Yeah. We can always ask him if he likes the Thin Mints. What do we have here from Joshua Doss? I think Mason probably froze up again. Where are we at? I got one here from Joshua Doss when he gets back. Quickly, we'll jump into. Oh, here he is. He's back. All right. Mason, one for you from Joshua Doss. You being a young man and that successful, you're sure to have a good amount of stress. How do you manage the stress and stay focused on life and competition?
I mean, I read all the books, all the prescribed literature, if you will, and that all helps a lot. But I've learned to focus. Basically, everything Lanny says is more or less correct, or at least relatable to back to shooting. So if you mean focusing on, while I'm at a match on stages, I don't struggle with that at all. Focusing on stages and knowing how many times I need to work on a stage plan to get it wired in my head to a point that I don't screw it up. I don't find that challenging. If it means focusing in life, my desire to win at matches pretty much supersedes everything else.
Okay, so something that I can learn from you. How many times do you really ingrain that stage plan in your head before you think it's go time?
Depends on the number of times. You talk to a lot of the pros and they'll say physically they'll run it anywhere up to like a dozen times, and then like 100 times in their head or some ridiculous number like that.
I've heard 7 to 12 is about average, but yeah, I mean, if you're the last shooter or one of the last shooters, there's plenty of time to run it way above that.
Yeah. So it's some tricks I'll do sometimes is like while I'm just shooting the breeze with someone on the range, like I'll try to as soon as I finish a conversation with someone, I'll run through my whole plan in my head, like in excruciating detail, and I'll know if I can do that like without thinking about it, then I'll have my plan down. So that's usually a good number. A number of times, usually walk through it like no more than 6 times. And then,
yeah, I'm sure it depends on how many shots during that stage, how many positions on that stage, and all that stuff. You got to think about a lot more than just more of your simpler stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's one of those that like some of the confusing ones where you have to know that from this window I'm only going to shoot these 3, and from this window, to make sure you don't double shoot or miss one. Sometimes those, like every time we paste, I'll walk through and just check what I see at each one.
Yeah, for sure. And there goes, that's why no one likes to shoot within the first. Man, I really, the first 2 shooters is, I think there's, you really
I don't know.
can't.
I like to sometimes.
You like going second sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, unless it's a really complicated one. Like if we get a good walkthrough, like sometimes you get there and they rush, which I have a whole different opinion, because I think like 3-gun, I think if you have not seen the stages before, 5 minutes is a little bit tough to do a walkthrough on 3-gun. I think that's it's skimping a little, depending on how big the squad is, because you can't get to see, if there's like 15 shooters and there's like a small shooting position that you have to get up there one at a time to look and find, I don't think 5 minutes is enough. But if it's one where we've had a really good walkthrough, sometimes I like to just go first and be done.
Yeah. I mean, if I have the stage,
like if I've just done the walkthrough, I'm like, I want to do it right now before I watch anybody else do it to confuse me or make me doubt how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. If I have the stage already embedded, I'm ready to go. It's just a point like in IDPA, in IDPA there's not you can't do that walkthrough like you can in 3-gun where you're air gunning it. You're position to position. Everybody's doing like that slow motion dance on a walkthrough. There is none of that. There's just a stage description. Take a look at it pretty much. So and there's some. I don't know if people get on IDPA about the low round counts and stuff like that, and the rules and stuff like that. But like I was talking earlier to Mason when I went up there for the New England regionals up there, and it was a match that kicked my ass, but it was a match that I learned a lot from. And I know, oh, you had fun, yada yada. That says that people that say they had fun means they sucked it up. But I learned, like you ever get a guy on media, oh well, I'm back from New England regionals, had a lot of fun. See you next year. You probably blew that one, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people are fast to say, well, I got second overall ESP master, whatever it is.
See, when I come back, I always am saying I had such a good time.
Yeah. You go look at the results, and it's like, oh, yeah. It's a rough one, wasn't it? All right, but yeah, I definitely learned a lot of stuff. Well, having fun, and even if you suck it up, you got to learn a lot of stuff. I think that's a big key. So it was a match that I kind of threw it away early. So I was being extremely aggressive in that match, and I pushed myself to things that I didn't really like on paper. I'd never practice it, but I was like, you know what? I did the eye test, and I'm like, you know what? I can throw that reload in there. On a double drop turner, I can get 2 shots and get that reload in there, and I was able to do it. Eventually, it got out of reach for me, and if I was able to do that, I would have had a fairly decent, that would have helped me out. That would have been I would have had at least a second to, I would at least had a second over everybody in my squad because I was the only one to pull that out that had the guts to do it there. But I still lost to some really great shooters, and Mason was one of them. But I knew that was kind of going in. A lot of great shooters out there, Matt Holmes and all those guys. Michael Sanchez was the guy who came in wanting to really beat me, and he got the goal there. So there it is. Congrats to him. I will see you again, sir. All right. So there it is on that. Live questions. Anyone doing anything new to their ARs? Mason, anything new to ARs?
Yes, I've done all kinds of new stuff to my ARs. My AR is perpetually evolving. I recently put Magpul PRS on it. I took a Hyperfire hiatus because I couldn't get it to work right, and I recently put that back in. I love it, and still working on. Got to get some new glassware. I got a TR-24, which I've been informed is less than optimal for a long distance, and I recently put a Lancer. The adjustable comp on. I don't remember what the name of it is.
All right. Okay. TR-24 is the first optic I've ever had. It's the Trijicon, very solid glass, super solid glass. But you have the post reticle, the square reticle in red or green, whatever it comes in. Yeah, I was never a fan. I never could really enjoy that reticle. I mean, it's a great shredding. It's shredding, hosing.
200 yards, dude.
Yeah, that's your.
It's the cat's pajamas. Past that.
Yeah, it's the cat's pajamas for sure. But then there's always people like Taryn, and he'll run one out to way deep, and it won't be a problem. So like everything's practice, and he's really used to his. But now Trijicon has the TR-25, which is the 1-6, and they offer that same reticle, but they also offer abundance of different reticles. So if you want to stick with Trijicon, man, I'm a fan of Trijicon. I wish I can afford every Trijicon they make, but those even the RMRs are fairly pricey. The MROs are pretty solid for the money. Around $500 around the price of an EOTech or Aimpoint. So, Jen, anything new going on with the ARs?
We're looking at building me a new one. So we were just talking about that today, and I don't know yet. I'm debating everything. I still love my Hyperfire trigger, and I love my silent capture spring, and so I don't know. We're just in the beginning stages of trying to figure out what we're going to do this year. So,
are you running a low mass system currently or no?
You froze. What'd you just ask?
You running a low mass bow carrier system in the current one?
Yeah, JP.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a variety. Yeah, you got a lot of the same parts that I'm running, so it's like, I don't know how much really great you can get over. But I have some. AR parts they're nuts. The industry's nuts with AR parts and ARs in a sense. But if you follow me on social medias and stuff, and Facebook, Instagram, I posted up about a 90% done rifle. The last two rifles I was able to assemble. The gunsmiths, pretty much the guys, great companies are supporting me. Tactical, Carbon Arms, did their handguard and upper, pretty much all assembled by Carbon Arms. But I have the last two rifles I assembled. So the one that I got going right now that's half built is 18.8 inch barrel. The Carbon Arms upper one is an 18 inch, and then the TTI one is a 16. So I kind of messing around with different barrel lengths, and I got another strip lower there waiting to go. So there's my deal on the AR stuff. Okay, so kicking this one off, 2015 Indoor Nationals. I was there. I didn't get a chance to really talk to you, Mason, on that one. But first time I saw you at the banquet, you got called for like every award, it seemed. I was like, well, who's this kid? And then I was sitting at the banquet with next to Vogel and Nils, and those guys are machines, right? And then so Vogel hears your name come up a couple times, and he's like, well, that's another young kid I got to look out for. So your reaction to hearing Vogel say that based on your performance at 2015 Indoor Nationals?
I hope he's right, man. I hope
Yeah.
I hope he's right.
I mean, you got a good. The kids get a good head start though. That's the thing,
Yeah, exactly.
I think I know he started at a young age. Vogel's a young dude still though, and Nil's been shooting for a very long time, young age. But I mean, it seems like there's more really support for the juniors nowadays. There's a lot of programs for the juniors. I mean, there's a lot, Generation 3 gun is one. I mean,
that was on Shooting USA today.
Yeah, the MGM Junior Camp's a big deal. MGM Junior Camp is another one, man. I mean, I started pretty young. I started at 21, but I mean, if I can reverse a little bit of going a time machine, I would have started way earlier than that, man. Probably like 15 if I had the parent support.
21. You were a baby when you started.
Yeah.
Old when I started.
Right. I got a decent head start, but man, I could have learned so much more from these camps and stuff from taking classes with these pros off bat instead of doing like Lethal Weapon 4 gun grips when I was out there first time. The teacup grip, that type of deal. That's what I was doing.
You did not teacup. Did you really teacup?
I don't know. I got to look back at videos. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was that bad, but it sucked. Even I knew better. The teacup wasn't the right thing, but at that point. But yeah, so that was the deal. All right. Yeah. So your reaction, Vogel. You caught Vogel's eye there at the banquet, man.
Yeah. Everyone gets to be famous someday.
Yeah. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. I don't know, man.
Even a bro clock's twice a day.
Right. That's right.
I really hope I beat Bob someday. And I hope he knows that. I want to beat him someday.
Yeah, I want to beat him too, man. Who doesn't want to beat the Vogeltron?
Yeah, even if he's in a wheelchair when I finally do it, I want to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely something. It's definitely an accomplishment you got to check off. No doubt. Let's see. That was a pretty good conversation. 2016 Indoor Nationals sign up was like I don't know, a few days ago. It's pretty much full. So if you didn't sign up now, I don't think the odds of getting in is slim none. But it's going to be a great match. Mason, you're going to be there. Are you shooting with the Super Squad this time, or what's going on? You don't know yet?
I haven't been informed of that yet. I hope so.
Yeah, it's real early. It's real early. I don't know. I'm probably going to try to. I don't know. I don't know what type of strings I can pull on the Super Squad, but I definitely want to shoot with my buddy Matt Holmes and a couple of Dewey Rod shooters and whatever. I usually last year I went and watched Super Squad. I shot a day before them, so I got a chance, and I pretty much tagged along with Nils and Julie and really saw how they shot it. It was pretty learning experience there. They do a lot of joking around, believe it or not, but it was still a lot.
I got a question on Facebook along those lines. Ethan, I don't want to destroy your name, Ethan. Ethan wants to know,
There you go. Just say
from
that. That's what I do.
everyone, how can I get better at stage planning? Or does that come with time? And I just thought it was interesting that you were talking about that you followed the super squad around. And I think, like, my answer to that, I think, is to shoot with people that are better than you. Find the people that are at the top of the list and shoot, squad with them or follow them around and watch how they do it. Because, like, I know that's, I'm not sure that my improvement over the last year has been necessarily my shooting skills or if I've just learned how to plan and how to be more efficient. And I completely credit that to Jana and James and shooting with them, going to a stage, and they'll figure out their plan, and it's not like they just helped me. They'll turn around and anybody in the squad will come up and be like, "How are you going to do this?" And they'll be like, "Okay, this is how," and and from doing that, like, I learned how to break down a stage myself, go to it and break it into small little pieces. I just think that's the biggest thing, is to shoot with people that are better than you.
Fair enough. Mason, you want to add to it?
She pretty much totally nailed it. That's a lot of people tell me they think that I'm a good stage planner, and I'm just good at finding the right people and watching what they do.
You're a good copycat like me.
Yeah, exactly. I just take a little bit of plan here, a little bit of plan here, and let them mate. So the same guy I told you about, Jerry Tetro, sort of took me under his wing, and he sort of showed me how to break down stages. But he said, we went to my first nationals together. I went with him, and we followed around Ben Steger and Matt Hopkins and watched them break down stages. We're like, oh yeah, we'll check that out, to say the least. So we pretty much just learning how to semi-cheat is what I did. Learn how to follow the right people.
No, not necessarily cheating. It's just, but the thing is with that, I guess, fair enough, gaming. But the thing is, you can't always have those people. So you really, when you have them, you really got to learn and become a good stage planner yourself. Because
everything, like every stage, there are pieces of it you've seen before, and so if you've shot it with someone else and seen how they shoot that particular little small section of it, then you can move that forward to new stages that you see.
Yeah. Unlike, you're pretty good friends with Jana and them, so you kind of can have that luxury if you're at the same match to shoot with them. But like I said, there's some guys that there's some guys that I really heavily. Sometimes this is my downfall. I think in the stage, my stage planning is pretty weak. There's some really guys on the local scene that I really want to squad with because they're really good stage planners and they're better shooters than me. And when I don't have them there, it's like, shit. You know what I mean? This guy Chris or this guy Mike always finds that little thing that's hard to see in a stage that can really give you an advantage, and then I find myself kind of not finding it on my own. So it's kind of a thing that, I can't squad with the super squad all the time, or sometimes it's not even, you can't squad with all your buds. Sometimes that's not the best method to do things anyway. But anything you want to add, Mason?
Yeah, I've actually made a practice at one point this last year of going to a match and not squatting with any of the other local heroes and trying to not take any of their advice. And that actually worked out pretty well for me for a little bit. So I try to just go and sort of formulate my own plan, then watch what everyone else is doing and take parts of it, see if there's anything I'm missing. I shoot all production right now, so count rounds, then count steps, and decide which way you want to do it.
Fair enough. There you go.
A plan well executed is pretty much always better than a good plan destroyed.
That's for sure. All right, we're gonna lighten it up a little bit. Thanks for the live questions throughout the show, guys. It really helps the show move along. We're gonna jump into the lightning round, and then we'll do some discount corner. So quick lightning round for you. One of the other type of deal. Kind of some funny stuff, kind of some gun stuff in here. I got to take out this one. Jack Daniels or Jameson is not a question for a youngster. All right. But coffee or energy drink? Are you on this type of thing? At 18, I wasn't really on anything. Well, as far as coffee and energy drink.
I've managed to not get addicted to anything yet. I drink the Mountain Dew during the match. I sip like a gentleman.
So you get all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
All jacked up.
All jacked up on Mountain Dew. I know your camera's froze again, by the way.
Dang it.
Mason.
Can we take care of that?
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll move on when you come back.
I literally live on Podunk Road in New Hampshire, so I mean it's rough here.
All right.
Podunk Road. That's funny.
Yeah. Audio kind of tweaked out a little bit. But what we have next is Aimpoint or EOTech. I don't know what's Mason. I know Aimpoint has been unanimously winning this category. Aimpoint or EOTech, Mason.
I think that's an easy one now, but Aimpoint.
All right, so Aimpoint. What was the whole deal? I didn't follow. I know they were getting sued by somebody. Jen, are you on this EOTech deal? What happened?
I have no idea.
The final verdict on it?
I heard that they hid information that basically they Volkswagen the government is what they did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that you could definitely see the Aimpoint stock going on those. So
even beyond the suing, I don't like their reticle, and I don't know. You can't mount it far enough away for you to get the same peripheral action that you go with an Aimpoint. So I like Aimpoint more.
There you go. Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi. I like Mountain Dew.
Pepsi, really? That's no one ever chooses Pepsi, but we got one here today. Because it's the Mountain Dew. I guess the Mountain Dew wins over in the Pepsi line. In-N-Out Burger or Five Guys for burger spots?
We just got Five Guys in New Hampshire, so Five Guys.
Five Guys. Right on. This is good stuff. Their fries are really good. I'm not sure if their burgers are better than In-N-Out. They're just not, but fries are pretty good. 9mm 45. If you can have an all-around caliber, hunting, competition, carry, what are you going with?
9mm. It's best for face shooting. Best for competition. It's the go-to.
There you go. Fair enough. Direct impingement or gas piston? Piston driven.
Depends on what you're using it for. Piston, I think, is cooler in general.
Really? You think so? Why is that? Because you don't have to clean your AR as much? Because that's what I get from it.
Go Gadget awesome, I think.
Okay, yeah. All right, fair enough. But that's all. I mean, I don't know. We talked about this too much, but I've owned a piston AR. The only thing I never had to clean it, pretty much. I mean, that was the convenience. You pay for convenience, though. So if you want a piston AR, it's not going to make you any worse.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You'll be just as competitive, but you'll just never have to clean really the bulk carry group. If anything, just wipe it with like a paper towel, and then you're good to go. AR triggers, flat or curved?
I like flat more, but I can't run a flat trigger in my 320 currently, so curved.
Curved. Chips Ahoy or Oreos?
Oreos.
Oreos, yeah, that's synonymous there. Unanimous there. Keep mixing up the words. Forward assist or no forward assist?
Forward assist. It works as a kickstand.
Fair enough. Key mod or M-lock?
Key mod looks cooler.
Yeah, I can agree there. I like the key mod look. I never attach anything to it, but I like the key mod look. Well, this is kind of a dumb question. Never mind. This doesn't apply. We had the Springfield or Glock.
320 is a master race.
Yeah, there it is. Good answer. Any equipment, any holsters? What are you using as far as holsters? I know we always get those questions in the Q&A. People want to know what you're using. What do you got?
So I run all Blade Tech right now. I actually have a trusty holster that I shut in a car door that has all wrapped in electrical tape. And when I saw the Blade Tech guy at Bug National, he's like, "What are you doing with that?" I was like, "Dude, it's my lucky holster, all right." So I mean, I think the emphasis on it is slightly overplayed, especially in basically every division but open. But I like my Blade Tech holsters. Even their hangers, I think, are fine.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you definitely should swap those out, though, because everybody's going to be like, what? That Blade Tech holster, man, it's broken. Why should I buy one? You got to think about it like that, in a sense, but just some friendly advice. Let's see. Discount Corner, real quick. Jen, I don't know. I know you don't usually get too many new ones off the fly like that, but do you have any?
I have Samson Manufacturing. You can go to their website, www.samson-mfg.com, and you can get 10% off of anything there with the discount code TSM10. They have hand guards and flip-up sights and scope mounts, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they have any AR furniture, it's there. Okay,
yeah.
Rifle furniture in general, it's there.
All your AR needs.
All your AR needs. They have some AK stuff. They have some general shooting stuff too. So don't think it's just AR furniture only. Just go there, check it out. TSM 10 if you want to make a purchase or not. Terran Tactical Innovations. Jen has her pistol over there. Currently, Benelli M2 shotguns. Man, they base pads. They have it all. To modify the Glock and stuff like that, and other guns. The MMPs. TerranTacticalInnovations.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off anything on the TTI website that I know of. Their Black Friday deal ended, so TSM10 is going to be a real solid code for you to use right now. UMTactical.com. That's TSM10 saves you 10% off. Anything apparel, universal scope mounts. They have a fully adjustable rifle compensator. For 223.556 right now. It should be coming out. I was told beginning of first week of December. We're kind of in the first week. So I would expect an announcement any day on the Rage TCS adjustable comp from UM Tactical. TSM10 saves you 10% off there. Tacticalshit.com, shop.tacticalshit.com is their store website. Tacticalshit.com is going to take you to their blog article writing section. But you can get there both ways. TSM10 is going to save you 10% off your entire order. So ISIS hunting kits, 9mm bell feds, lower parts kits. I mean, apparel. They got some really, really kick-ass T-shirts and apparel over there. TSM10 saves you 10% off at Tactical Shit. What do we got? 4mm munitions. TSM5 saves you 5% off all your handgun ammunition needs. That's teamfmm.com. Dewey Rods is up in your area, definitely in the Connecticut, Mass area. They sponsor. They definitely support a lot of IDPA matches up where you are and around the country, obviously. DeweyRods.com is Cruise Rod 10, CRUZ Rod 10 saves you 10% off anything over at Dewey Rods. So you need the fanciest, cleaning rod for your ARs, pistols, grenade launchers. They have it all over at DeweyRods.com. All right, and then that'll do it. I think that'll do it, man. The discount corner is really getting longer and longer every day, which is a great thing, but it does take up some time to say it. All right, Mason, anything that you know of from your sponsors or any supporters that you have any discounts?
Put me on the spot here, man.
I know he does that all the time.
On the fly.
Offhand, honestly, I can't remember anything. But Top Gun Supply Co. has really good deals on basically everything. Blaytech holsters, P320s, generally SIGs.
Yeah, they have a lot of good deals on magazines, especially for SIGs. Yeah. Top Gun Supply, send 6 Hour email and tell them Mason Lane says 50% off on any 320 on the shop.
Go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and tell them that.
See where it gets you. They might throw you a T-shirt or something in there.
They might throw me off a bridge.
Right. All right. Good stuff there. All right, that'll wrap all that up. Giveaway winners. We're not gonna do a giveaway. I expect another giveaway next week. We have some stuff lined up, which is gonna be great. But if you guys didn't catch in the beginning of the show, the Agency Arms episode 112 giveaway winners were Paulie Hall and Ryan Braden are the two winners of all the good goodies from S3F Solutions and Agency Arms and TacticalLife.net. Did I announce the TacticalLife.net discount code really quick? TacticalLife.net, TSM10, 10% off T-shirts, grips, and stickers over at TacticalLife.com. Okay, those are the guys that are assembling my ARs. I say I built my last two ARs. Really, I just bought the parts and they put it together for me. So there it is on TacticalLife.net. Those folks are good people. Let's go into this because I was looking up some USPSA videos of you, and I saw that you use kind of like a scoop draw technique, and this is always thrown around. It's not that safe. It's whatever. So talk about your draw technique. Which do you prefer, and what are your thoughts on the scoop draw?
So similar to my stage stealing, I found a guy in my area when I first started out who I saw had a scoop draw, and I said, dude, that's baller. It's way faster. It looks awesome. I want to do it. And he said, go ahead. And a lot of people tell you it's dangerous, and you're probably going to check your gun a couple times when you're learning how to do it. And everything he said was true. So, I went dry fired it. I chucked my gun a couple times in dry fire, figured out how to do it, and I have scratches on my gun to prove it. So I really like it. I think it's a little bit faster. I sort of modify it, kind of similar to what Jay Hirschberg in his book says. Sort of start with one hand closed, and I'm frozen, so you can't see, but then just sort of throw it open at the beginning.
Right.
It's sort of sympathetic muscle movement type of deal. It'll get you your hand to your gun faster, and then just kind of bring the thumb over the beaver tail as you scoop it. So just a little bit extra safety.
All right. So there's a trade-off here. Mason, come back for me real quick.
All right.
There's a trade-off. There's a trade-off here. So me and Mason were talking about, and I heard this from a couple of people, that you're getting like a .3 advantage on a scoop draw over your traditional pistol draw. So it is faster, but there is an increased risk factor there. So if you tend on bringing on the scoop draw, it's something you really want to hit dry fire really hard. Make sure because like you're scooping it and you're coming out, so the fly away. So you don't want to do that in a match. So really hit it hard if you're going to the scoop draw and dry fire. Okay, before you actually do that in a match. But it is, like I said, .3, .4 maybe-ish, give or take on a scoop draw. So some people, that's worth the risk, and it could be the difference when there's a lot of good top contenders there, like internationals, nationals, world shoot, where .4 can be first and second easily between those guys. So scoop draw. You said there was a modified version that you do, right? Though.
Yep. So I sort of do the same thing. Only I just kind of, when I come up, I sort of hook my hand and then just I get the side of my thumb over the back of the beaver tail like as soon as I can. So as I'm pulling it out, I sort of start to sweep my thumb over. So it's not like I'm just tossing it up and catching it at 3. I mean, I do have. I think it would be fair to say I have some control over the gun when it's only an inch out of the holster. I would be able to hold it in that position. So it's not a true scoop, if you will, but it's definitely a hybrid.
Right. There you go. I mean, I've seen tons of people do it. I haven't got into it myself. It is a little faster, a little risk factor, but I kind of live on the wild side, especially when it comes to stage planning. So, I mean, I tend to learn things all the hard way, even though they tell me, hey, there's potential, there's a risk factor there, and then I'll get DQ'd or something. I realize, you know what? Yeah, that's the way the game. Yeah, you're right. But, then that's the way the game goes. But you got to be aggressive sometimes to get a win, or at least I have a little bit more fun being a little bit more aggressive than some of the other shooters on stages. You have a few on Facebook, or that was an older. That was a long.
Well,
time
I do have one on here. Eric Winstead said, "Your biggest fan has to be your mom, Carol. How much credit do you give your parents for where you're at today?"
All of it, all of it, all the credit. I shot for my first whole season on their dime, travel, ammo, everything, and I mean that's how I got to a point where I was worth being looked at by an actual company. So I owe them all of it. They still are paying for the majority and really all of my travel, which is
a
significant cost. My dad just started shooting a little bit. I actually got my mom out to the range last week just for more defensive stuff, but.
So yeah, this was you started shooting and then they did. They didn't. Yeah. They weren't lifelong shooters that got you into it.
No, I mean my dad's always been into guns. He did a law enforcement career, a couple dozen years long, and he thought he was all the hotness at shooting. And then I started shooting, and he's like, oh my god. If only ignorance. In hindsight, you're not nearly as hot as you think you are. And I mean, since then, I've gotten him more into it. He started doing more shooting. He actually went to a 3-gun match with me up in Maine, and he loved it. So I mean, it was really cool. Yeah, I owe them all of my success, though.
Like I said, man, it's always awesome, all on the parents' dime.
Yeah, it's.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that. So it's good that they supported you. Some people, I was like, man, your parents didn't do nothing. In the gun world, and they were supporting you that hard. Usually that's not the case. Usually they're like, my 16-year-old kid wants to get involved in guns. What kind of crazy kid do I have here?
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, they really backed you. That's good stuff, man. I think we all can hope for that. So,
Joshua Goss wanted to know if you're going to SHOT Show too before.
I am going to SHOT Show. I'm going with Team SIG. I'll be out there, I think, right through Wednesday. So, give me a holler.
Good stuff.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Hit them on Facebook. We'll be there. Me and Jen will be there. Hopefully, I mean that's the plan for me. So, I mean, I was thinking on the ride home from work today. I was just thinking, man, I was just kind of adding up the expenses aside from travel, like just spending money, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a rough trip. It's a lot of money I kept adding
Yeah.
in my head for some reason. Whatever. It's fun. You do it once a year. At least I only go to Vegas once a year, so I guess fair enough. Gray Guns. So I went to the Gray Guns website. They're now put together a competition action package for the SIG 320. Do you have this kind of package from Gray Guns, or do you recommend taking your 320 to him?
What was the last part?
Do you recommend taking your 320 to Bruce Gray there over at Gray
Yeah, I
Guns?
definitely would. I mean, preface, yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I shot the 320 stock for a full year. It's definitely usable like it is from the factory, but inevitably everyone will end up getting their gun work done, and Bruce is currently the only guy that does, I feel, any quality work. And I have 3 of his guns that he's worked on, and they're all incredible for their own reasons. And I definitely endorse it. He does incredibly good trigger work on the basic action enhancement package, which every cent is worth it. I was amazed when I first picked it up.
Yeah, the 320's kind of main selling point when it came out to me was the amazing trigger pull out of the box, which was
Yeah.
which is really great.
hmm
So if you can just do a little modifying there, you can imagine you can take it down even more. So there you go. I mean, you can go to their website. They don't just do the action package. They do H&Ks. They do framework. They do all types of stuff. Sites, your pretty much go-to website for all the your SIG 320 needs over there. All right. I think he does other SIGs. Just go there, man. Check it out. If you have a SIG and HK, it's worth a look. All right. We talked a little bit about SHOT Show, but any upcoming matches? We talked a little bit about that. I know it's the off season. Any events or any goals that you want to plug here?
Upcoming events, pretty much till next season. No, I have indoor nationals, so I'll be training for that some. Hoping to do really well at that. Hoping to do well at some area matches next year, and getting a little bit more into 3-gun.
Right on. Yeah, I think I'm doing SHOT Show, and I'll be doing indoor nationals, and then there's Florida State IDPA match. I'll be at that. But I definitely want to take I said this a couple times, but I really want to take USPSA hardcore this year, and kind of let the IDPA not drift away, but take a little seat on the back burner. So I plan on stepping it up. I mean, I have a 34 for production. I can always go there with the TTI Glock. It's the older version, but still high fly. But I plan on getting a 35 with a little bit of tricks and gadgets on it for a little limited action in USPSA 2016. Why did I park in her parking? Oh man, I'm in trouble. All right. I'll move it. But any last minute Q&As? I'm clear on my side. Jen, you have anything?
No, I think we're good.
All right, I think we can roll this one down. I'm pretty in the clear here. Yeah, let's roll it down. Let's roll it down to shout-outs. Mason, we'll start off with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, you guys. First of all, thanks. Shout out Sig Sauer Academy. I mean, if you guys are in Area 7, I mean, there's people that travel from all over the world that go there. They had guys from South America up there training last year. So we have guys that come up from Florida all the time. So if you're anywhere in the area, I mean, even as far as Connecticut, it's definitely worth coming up. They have all kinds of good training. 6 P320, it's the rage. All the cool kids are shooting it. Get one. Shout out Jerry Tetro. Thanks for getting me competent in the shooting sports.
Right on. So there you go. It's all the rage, kids. All the cool kids are shooting it. That's
right.
All right, Jen, go with the shout-outs.
Okay, Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta, Lucas Oil, Savannah River Armory, Sampson Manufacturing Operation X, Load Up Ammunition, TacticalLife.net. I think that's all for now.
Lucas.
I said Lucas already.
Did you?
I have a few more that are in the works, but not like officially on paper yet. So. I'll leave it at that.
We got to get some load up ammunition discount corners, man.
Yeah, I need to. I'll have to hit him up for that.
Yeah, we need to get some discount corners from load up. Let's see. Kind of conflicting with Fort Mill Munitions, but now I think about it, but you guys can plug your sponsors. I don't care on that point. Shout outs on my end. Tactical Shit. Pretty catchy, right? ShopTacticalShit.com. Go check them out. TSM10 saves you 10% there. Definitely thanks to Mason, man, coming on. We talked a little bit at the match. We said we're gonna put this on. I was pretty booked out, but he waited, and we finally got it done. So thanks for spending 2 hours with me here out of your day there, man. Much appreciated. I will see you at Shot to end the match at Indoor. Subscribe to on the bottom of the video here, video screen. You're just gonna see a subscribe button. Make sure you click that. Get all the latest updates and stay in tune with all the Shooter's Mindset episodes coming up every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Rise Armament is definitely a company I've been using for a lot of AR parts, man. Their triggers are high fly. All the cool kids are shooting them. Mason, you need to jump on board, man. I'm telling you.
Their comp is great.
Their comp is great. Their triggers are smoking. Where we at? They have some barrels, ARs, man. They're really the company to look out for. They're doing a lot of supporting of the 3-gun nations, the 3-gun game. Rainier Ballistics, man. For your if you're a heavy big time reload of Rainier Ballistics, man. Some of the finest stuff. I've been toying around. I toyed around with a lot of bullets when I reloaded earlier. I don't reload anymore. I have the great folks over at Fort Mill Munitions really putting on some Rainier projectiles with some fine new Starline brass. So I'm shooting some fancy stuff, and no better way to do that but with Rainier ballistic bullets. All right. Dewey Rods, DeweyRods.com. Definitely check them out for your cleaning needs. Techwear USA off season. Everybody needs a new jersey to add some logos on, or if you just want to be cool and just have a jersey, Techwear USA is where you can do that. Rand CLP for your all-around lubrication, firearms care needs. Carbon Arms for the 3-gun, man. They have a lot of stuff over at Carbon Arms, but their caddy systems are among the elite, and I think Jen agrees there because I believe she's running Carbon Arms also.
Love Carbon Arms.
Patriot
their Jihad vest too.
Oh yeah, you got the Jihad vest. That's elite. When you have the Jihad vest, you know you're a big time shooter. I don't have it yet, but I'm gonna buy one soon. Okay, that's when you know you're a 3-gunner, when you have the Jihad vest from Carbon Arms. It's not really called that, but it's their vest from Carbon Arms. All right, whatever. They call it the Jihad vest. I got the nickname from Dustin. Nate Square Tactical, Blade Tech for your concealment holsters. I'm a real fan of inside the waistband Nate Square Tactical holsters. For my competition, and if I'm running an appendix holster, Blade Tech, they have a great holsters over there. Terran Tactical Innovations and Patriot cases. That'll wrap it up. Patriot cases, you need to have it when you're flying across the country or from state to state with your firearms. You got to protect them, and Patriot cases does that. All right, that'll do it. That'll wrap it up for episode 113 of the Shooter's Mindset, featuring Mason Lane, and we're out of here. Jen, thank you for the help, and thanks again, Mason. We're out.
Thank you.